We start right away. Please calm down with Professor Laurent Gamet. Laurent, I'm very happy that you are here to do a welcome word for the second day. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Martin. Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, dear friends, it is a great pleasure for me to welcome you today on behalf of the Faculty of Law of Université Paris-Est-Créteil as part of this important gathering of the Aurora Alliance. Allow me first to express our gratitude for your presence here. We are delighted to host this meeting and to share with you our institution, our ambitions, and our strong commitment to international cooperation within higher education and research. Our Faculty of Law is one of the largest in France, with more than 4,000 students and a wide range of degree programs covering all fields of legal studies from undergrad to doctoral level. But beyond these numbers, what defines us is a strong academic identity that combines openness to the world and close ties with the professional sphere. We believe that legal education must be rooted in a critical understanding of the world, and that it must prepare students not only to master legal rules and institutions, but also to reflect on the role of law in society, to engage with complexity, and to take responsibility for the future. In this context, international openness is not simply an added value for us, it is an essential dimension of who we are and what we aim to be. Each year, we are proud to welcome a significant number of international students from all parts of the world. They bring with them their cultures, their languages, their perspectives, and they help create a dynamic, diverse, and global academic environment. Their presence is a powerful reminder that the university must always remain a place of dialogue and exchange. As academics, we witness the profound impact that international mobility can have on young minds, and we do everything we can to make such experiences accessible and meaningful. In this regard, the Aurora Alliance plays a central role. It is not just a consortium of universities, it is a shared project, a common space for thinking and acting together. We are proud to be part of this alliance, and we are fully committed to taking part to its development. Within the Faculty of Law, we are actively working to deepen our cooperation with our Aurora partners through joint research initiatives, academic exchanges, and interdisciplinary collaborations that respond to global challenges. Aurora gives us the opportunity to rethink the way we teach, the way we learn, and the way we connect our academic mission to society at large. It also encourages us to question ourselves and to embrace change in order to better serve our students and our communities. I am so convinced that the future of higher education will be built through such alliances. That is why your presence here means so much to us. I hope that the days at UPEC will allow us to get to know each other better, to deepen our academic ties, and to spark new ideas for future collaboration. Thank you once again for being with us. I wish you all a very productive and inspiring meeting at UPEC. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Laurent, for being here and sharing your words with us. Okay, so So I give the floor to Matthias and Barbara, who will animate this next session on building scientific communities in Aurora, and I'm very much looking forward to these sessions with presentations from science projects of all kind.
Yes. Hello, good morning, everybody. So we, in the following little bit less than 90 minutes, we will have a session joint work package 5 and work package 2, one could say, on the topic how to build joint research and teaching communities in and across Aurora via the formation of hubs and the calls for research collaboration. So maybe I start presenting myself. I'm Matthias Beekman. I'm research director at CNRS working on atmospheric sciences. At UPEC, I'm assessor for research and innovation within Aurora and also work package 5 co-lead. And Barbara?
Right, and my name's Barbara Buchenau, and just for those of you who are young to Aurora, work package 5 is invested in research, work package 2 is invested in education, and both of us actually have a teaching, so there's a teaching in research, and there's a research in teaching, and this panel will very much be dedicated to the question of how research-driven activities must be thinking education and how education-driven activities must be thinking along with research and how we can strengthen each other. I'm the lead of Work Package 2 on transdisciplinary research-driven European educational hubs. There are 4 in my work package and another one in another work package, so everything is a good handful. And we cover all of the fields that are in the SDGs that actually match the profiles of our universities. So those 5 hubs are very much representative of what the best ambitions are of the universities that call themselves Aurora. And hopefully the panel will also give you a sense of how you can see your own university in those presentations. You see that the time has already elapsed, so add 15 minutes to our schedule. The coffee break will be a little bit shorter, but I think it will work out all right. And basically I'm handing over. No, I need to also say that for those lovely speakers who are here, I have a timer. So after 8 minutes, there's an awful ring, and I will actually stop you short, even if you're not done, because this session will be very much about the audience. You should be walking out of here understanding what the research incentives are within Aurora, and you should be understanding what the hubs are and how they're connected. And we want you to test the speakers on this. That's why it's only 8 minutes.
Yeah. So we ask all the speakers, please, to sit down, to take a seat here on the panel. And then we will start right away with the first speaker. So most of the projects that will be presented are, thanks a lot, are supported by an incentive research call that we edited last year and also this year within Aurora, where we have emerging research projects, but also giving some seed funding to them. So it's not finalized research within Aurora, but it's seed funding. Then we also support thematic schools and also internships. There we have limited funding available, so we could only support some happy few, I would say, even if there were a lot of high quality projects, but it was, unfortunately we could not go further. And so part of them is there. Some others have some posters, which also you could have a look at. And we will start right now the presentation with a project of Lolita Rubens. So she's professor at UPEC, vice rector of social responsibility also, and her field of research is social psychology. And she works in particular on how people change behavior in the environmental transition. In fact, her project is, we're starting with an exception because her project is supported internally by UPEC because we tried to have some internal UPEC projects, but which are still following the Aurora rules with two other Aurora partners. Lolita, you will explain this to us. And you could. Well, I think the best is you go here.
Good. Okay. Too many tools. You tell me when it starts. All right. Lolita.
I'm near you, so that's good. I'll see the timer.
The 8 minutes are starting exactly now.
Good. Hello, everybody. I'm glad to present the project here. So I will explain the history of the project so that you can understand how we met all together. So the team is part of CBS, the Copenhagen Business School. So we have Albina, Isabel, and Maribel. So Albina Joba, Isabel Fraus, Maribel Blasco, and they it was first Isabel that met Ramon from UNINA through Aurora student collaboration, and then Léa. So I will go back and forth. Léa Chambaudet from UPEC, who met with Isabel as well, and she introduced Isabel to Begonia from the UPEC university because they had a similar project. So our project is linked to urban gardening. So in UPEC, we have on a balcony of a building nearby some garden. And so we try to involve students and staff through the garden. So it has a pedagogical objective and also research objective now. And so Léa introduced Begonia and Isabel. They worked together through different working sessions. And so Maribel and Begonia and Léa and Isabel from CBS tried to, or wrote a proposition for a call, larger European call. And it was calls that were a little too ambitious for the project at the time. And then Léa went to CBS on a job shadowing. I don't know if you know a job shadowing. What is a job shadowing? So you can apply in Aurora Alliance to see colleagues from another university and see colleagues that are doing the same job as you in the other university. So Léa went to CBS for a few days. She met some of our colleagues working on those topics, and then she saw the garden in CBS. So they have a garden that is really included in the classes, included in the staff work as well. So it was also something that we can do all together. And then after that, we joined to apply to this internal Aurora call. And so we worked on those gardens. So the gardens are here. So at CBS, they have an urban garden where they can teach students about urban gardening and gardening in general. In UNINA, they have a partnership with a park nearby, and the idea is to make students go to this park, which is not something that was done so far. So it will be something that will be developed or is developed through the program or the research. And here in UPEC, these are the balcony in the building nearby. So the study, so in the project, we have 3 objectives. So we organized events on each site. So we will have the Green Days in CBS in early September, where the students and staff could go to the garden, and of course UNINA and UPEC colleague will go there. We'll have in UPEC the Fête de la Biodiversité, so Biodiversity Days, where we will show the students and staff as well the garden, explain how they can be involved in the garden. And in UNINA, we'll have a hackathon in November, where we will speak about urban gardening as well and how it's linked to larger issues. So we will also conduct a study the study is about how we can engage people into the garden and gardening, and especially which type of message, as we are part of the team, psychological researchers, which type of message will make people engage in urban gardening. So we will try to work on, or we will work on 3 different types of message. A message linked to social bonding, come to the garden and meet other people. A message linked to climate change, come to the garden. It will be good to fight climate change, especially in cities, as we are all in cities. And another message about biodiversity. Come to the garden. It could help biodiversity, so you can be part of this biodiversity fight. So we'll see which message could be the most effective to make people engaged. And so we'll launch the study in UPEC in May, and another study before each event, so that we can see the number of clicks the students or staff we will have to get to know the garden and get information on the garden, but also see how many people will really come to the event, because the idea is to register for the event, and then we'll see if they really come to the event as well. And the last element, I'm not sure about the time, but the last element will be, it's here. The last element will be about answering larger call, as I said. So this internal Aurora call was really good for us, because it was something that was, so it was short time writing, but it was good to get to know each other, to create this first studies and get to know the different sites as well. And now the idea is to be able to apply to a European call, for example. So we have seen already driving urban transition call. So this could be another way of expanding our work, and also, of course, Horizon call. So it will be the opportunity to start to work on the project and then try to make it bigger. Another perspective that we have for the next year is to create maybe a blend intensive program, so a BIP in Aurora. The idea would be to speak about urban gardening and the way it can motivate, involve people and make them feel good about fighting about climate change and and also social bonding. And make those blend intensive program with hybrid courses on each site. And then, of course, an on-site intensive program where we can speak about urban garden, where we can garden as well and make this link with nature. That's it.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Lolita, for this great presentation of project. Thanks a lot for keeping in time also. So what we said that what we thought with Barbara, that we will follow up with a second presentation, and then we will have a little time for questions, and then we'll have the other 3 presentations, and then also time for questions. So I'm happy to introduce our second speaker, who is Emily Frenkel. So she's associate professor at UPEC at the Institute of Political Studies in Fontainebleau, and she's also deputy director of laboratory there at LIFA. I think that's you used to be, and you have been. So very good. And she's one of the coordinators of the 7 projects that we supported with this Aurora incentive call, and it's called EcoDelib Research and Deliberation for Ecological and Sustainable University. So, Emily, it's up to you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm really pleased to. Okay. Thank you. And so I'm really happy to be able to introduce this project. We were really happy that it was well received. And it is based on current practices, but our objective is to expand. And the idea was to expand in the Aurora Alliance. So last year, I was very happy to be able to actually present what we were already doing. And now I will explain what this Aurora project will allow to do next. and has already started allowing us to do. So what I was introducing you with, maybe not all of you were in Napoli last year, was the introduction of deliberation, especially student deliberation in universities, through mini publics, citizens' assemblies. As you know, there's a trend right now to organize citizens' assemblies. France is preparing and it's going to organize its third national citizens' assembly next month. But there are many European governments, but also local governments and civil society organizations that are organizing citizens' assemblies. Citizens' assemblies in universities is a new thing. And so this project is about studying what it means to introduce such mini publics, such deliberation in university settings. So to conduct research on that. But it is action as well, because we are, well, some of us, and there are now 2 of us in this alliance, because yesterday, for instance, some of our colleagues in the FRI and VU were not here because they had the second session of their citizens' assemblies that was being organized. So that's what this research is about organizing citizens' assemblies in our universities, and also about conducting research. When you do such research and practice at the same time, what is really hard is also to have the sufficient distance towards your object. And that's also why we, beyond our 2 universities, so VU, the FRI in Amsterdam and UPEC, we also looked for other colleagues in the Alliance who could help us conduct thorough research on what we were doing, and also try to expand that possibly to other universities, especially in the Alliance. So that's the team. So the project is named EcoDelib, because usually when citizens' assemblies are organized in universities, it has to do with the university's environment strategy. It has to do with ecology, with ecological transformation. And so Ivar Maas is the organizer of the Citizens' Assembly at the FRI. I'm the main organizer of the student citizens' assemblies that have been organized here for 5 years. And Jan Olafsson, I don't know if Jan is in the room, from the University of Iceland. Unfortunately, he is not. Is part of the research as well, and a colleague from Duisburg University, Anna Szpakowskaja, is also part of the project. So as written on the slide, the objective is to produce disciplinary but also interdisciplinary research on these deliberative experiments, and to also make our alliance a model for other European universities to become more ecological, and also through that route, through that very specific practice, which means very thorough democratic and inclusive practice. You know, that's what citizens' assemblies are famous for. And so what are we doing already with this project? I told you this is a recognition of things that are already underway, and it's really a way for us to do better research and to expand the introduction of these citizens' assemblies in the Alliance and beyond. And so what this project is allowing us to do is that, well, first next Friday, we're organizing an international conference on, which is named Universities Deliberating for a Livable Planet, right? And so there's now a broader network of universities that have organized citizens' assemblies. But the Aurora Alliance now is one of the strong supporters and organization that helps this network become stronger. And so for the first time, the researchers and organizers of such assemblies will be able to confront their work with specialists of deliberative democracy and also of sustainable transformations. And so the great news is that it's also going to be the first time that colleagues, especially from the University of Iceland, will be there to help us, as I was saying, conduct better research on this. But they will also explain how they also use deliberation to build ecological transformation in Iceland. There are obviously publications that are going to be expected from this collaboration. And we are considering applying to a Horizon call this year in September. So I'm putting all the information here because we already have a very strong consortium. And obviously this research project has helped. It's a very strong basis. But we're still very open. To us, it is important that the Aurora Alliance is really part of all all of our projects. So this network of deliberating universities, this Horizon call goes beyond the alliance, but our wish is that the alliance is really a great partner and support for all of our projects. I hope that some of you are considering organizing deliberation in your universities or also joining our research team. Well, another aspect, this is connected with training. Another aspect is that we are having students deliberate. And what's interesting is that students, well, what we do in universities, we train young people, we train citizens, and we train future workers and decision makers. There's a very strong pedagogical dimension in organizing deliberation in universities. We are teaching them very thorough democratic practices, and we're teaching them how to make the world and society more sustainable. So we also have the hope that this could lead to new degrees and, Aurora trainings.
Thanks a lot, Emily. So happy to see that this type of deliberations that we really love at UPEC, that it's adopted also by Aurora, with I guess many universities having already their own ways also to deliberate, but and working on this topic together. I think that's really important for university democracy. So are there some burning questions to the two first speakers?
Thank you. I think it's fascinating to see that both of your projects are really located on your campuses. So there is clearly a concern with we must take care of our campuses and our communities on campuses as well. And what I also thought was fascinating was that both projects, they already involve students on a very, very concrete level. So when the students visit the gardens and work in the gardens, and when they gather in the assemblies, that's already a teaching moment. And so both of your projects somehow naturally flow into teaching as well. Yeah, thank you.
And the question is actually, do you accept more gardens? So could technically all of our university gardens become part of it, just as Emily very much indicated that all of those student initiatives or deliberative moments on campus could become part of your project?
For the garden, I didn't say it, but the way it's Begonia in UPEC who used the garden in her classes, and she's a Spanish teacher. So the idea was to use this link to nature for teaching Spanish, which is not linked at the beginning, but this is a way where we can link. We can link it. And for the deliberative part of the university, I think we haven't done anything in the garden yet, but we wanted to do that for next session. But the proposition from the students, I think each year involve things around nature, having a shared garden where we can all be together on it. So this is something that the students want as well. So this is the project for the next one that we'll have, the next convention that we will have in September. We have a project of including the gardens that we have, because we have several gardens. The one that I presented is just nearby, but there are other gardens on other campuses, so we can do something about it. And maybe you want to add something, though? We're still thinking about the project, but we will include it.
Another question?
Otherwise, I will recruit questions.
Yeah, thank you, Lolita and Emily. Very interesting presentation. So I have a question for Emily in particular. So you mentioned that your research activities could be translated to Aurora courses or degrees. Can you say us more about that? And do you have any ideas about the format, and if you have any ideas about that, please?
Yeah, well, I have two ideas. The first one is that we have, well, maybe three. What we're doing is, that since we're involving many students, to organize a good deliberation, you need to have, and for instance, this place is where we have the 2 final days of the assembly every year. So that's huge, and we can have 500 students here, it's perfect. But imagine 500 people cannot deliberate all together, right? It works for plenary sessions. The deliberation takes place in groups of 10. And it means that for each table of 10, you need to have someone who is especially trained to be a facilitator. That person is in charge of, is in charge of the project of the table, but it's a democratic master. It's someone teaching democracy to everyone, teaching everyone how to listen to each other's, how to speak your mind, even if you're shy, even if you feel your words are not legitimate, and so on, right? And so training facilitators is wonderful. And so that's what we've been doing for 5 years now. We have created a university degree. And I think now we're ready. And we are training people in other universities and institutions, not just our students for our assemblies. And I think we're ready to teach this in English and to make it an Aurora course. I think it would be very interesting for the Alliance to actually disseminate, this kind of skills. They are useful for any job and any citizen activity. And it is actually very important for us to defend our European values of democracy, especially, and deciding together. So that's my first idea. The second idea is what we do in this university to involve the students, and very different students, is that we involve, we use some courses, compulsory courses, and we transform them into participation, into an assembly. My idea is that we could have an Aurora course, or maybe even a degree, I don't know, that would involve creating a group of people across the Alliance whose course would be about participating into an Aurora scale citizens assembly. That's the most ambitious idea. Maybe the third one, which is even more, easier to implement, is that we have now created optional classes, because the students every year, they make recommendations on how to make our campuses greener, also more inclusive, and so on, how to improve the student experience in our universities. And for many projects, we as universities are not the best ones to do it. Actually, students would do them better, would actually be the best ones as project managers. And so we have created an optional course here for students who want to do that, to actually just be the project managers. And this could also be something, because the idea that the students are working on here, they're relevant on most campuses of the Alliance. So that could also be a transversal kind of course. So these are the three ideas that we have.
Okay, thank you so much. And now a question to the audience. We have 5 hubs, and you have the choice to give 2 votes. So if you have Emily's project, so you have 5, I will call up 5 hubs, and you only have 2 votes. Is the hub of Emily in social innovation and entrepreneurship? No. Is it in sustainability and climate change? Okay, some put it there. Is it in digital society and global citizenship? Yes, right? You own her. So here's the hub leader, Sylvester. Sylvester, Emily, kindly introduced. Is it in health and well-being? No. Is it in culture, diversities, and identities? A little bit, right? So we basically sometimes it's hard to place, right? And with Lolita's project, same question. Is it in social entrepreneurship and innovation? Is it in sustainability and climate change? Yes, absolutely. Where's Hannes? Hannes isn't here. Christina, Lolita, I introduced you to each other. Is it in health and well-being? Yes, right? So there's a health component in there. And where's Pasquale? Pasquale Mafia isn't here, but Bruno. Bruno, Lolita. Here's an introduction. Is it in digital society and cultural global citizenship? No. Is it in cultural diversities and identities? How you talk about the garden. Stories about the garden, imaginations of the garden. So there's a bit of culture in there. Thank you. We'll do the same kind of exercise with the second set of our speakers in order to warm up to this immense difficulty of placing people in hubs. And you will realize, just as you are a family member, a faculty member, a student in some situations, a vegetarian or a vegan or a meat lover, you have different bubbles into which you belong. So there are elements where you have to negotiate where your heart is the strongest and where you're belonging at this moment. I'm very happy to move on to Romana Klasztoreczka. She's in the Department of Preclinical Studies, Faculty of Health Sciences at Palacký University, Olomouc. And I'm very happy to hear about NutriAge. I called it Nutriage, which is wrong. So NutriAge 24, because it was designed in 24. Thank you. And
Yes, I need a clicker.
So we'll start it again. Right?
Okay, and this is like this one's okay, right? If I just remove this one, yes. Yes. That's fine. Thank you. So good morning, everyone. It's a big pleasure for me to be here with you, and a big honor to be able to give this presentation. My name is Romana Klasztoreczka. I am from Palacký University in Olomouc, Czech Republic, and today I will present a project named NutriAge 24. We chose this topic because we wanted to find answer to important questions about food and aging. Nutrition is essential for healthy aging, but needs of older people are often forgotten in research policy. That's why we decide to explore this topic together across different countries and contexts. What do we want to know? How the Czech Republic, Iceland, and Spain address the challenges of healthy nutrition for older adults? How do older adults deal with food-related difficulties in times of crisis and low income? Are their diets in line with international nutritional standards and Food and Agriculture Organization definition of adequate food? Which groups of older adults are most at the risk due to gender, social status, or health? So why is this topic so important? The world population is gradually aging. In 2021, people over the age of 60 made up about 10% of the world's population. By 2050, their number is expected to increase to 2 billion people. So it's a worldwide phenomenon. Although this phenomenon is often perceived and present as a problem and challenges, it's actually one of the greatest achievements that humanity has achieved in the last 100 years. The main reason why population across countries and continents are aging is that average life expectancy is increasing. The United Nations Decade of Healthy Aging aims to give everyone the opportunity to add life to years, not only years to life, wherever they live. So let's focus on our project. Now, our team is built from the researchers from Czech Republic, Spain, and Iceland. Actually, this brings a lot of different view of the project and help us better understand the topic from the culture and socially aspects. So these countries are really geographically, economically, and socially different. So actually it's gonna be very interesting to compare how the national policy, the eating habits affect the food practice in older adults. The project analyzes the relationship between nutrition, health, and social environmental context in older adults, considering gender, class, health status, and environmental determinants. So we are actually very active team. So far we had online meeting, we will have a face-to-face meeting, but we already went through literature search. And we found out that there is not enough research about older adults' nutrition. National strategies usually focus on general nutrition or diseases, not on older adults as a specific group. That's why our project is really needed. So the next steps, we will now design our own questionnaire. It will be used in all 3 countries. And this quantitative research will be supported by interviews to get deep understanding. Oops. So we plan to publish some scientific papers. We are actually working already on narrative review. And we would like to share the data from the quantitative and qualitative research and raise awareness about health and practice for older adults. Actually, our project supports the World Health Organization standards on healthy aging. It also builds on food agriculture organizations definition of adequate food and human rights, and we contribute sustainable development on zero hunger, good health and well-being, and reduce inequalities. The future vision, we hope to grow this project into a larger European initiative because the topics we are studying are relevant across Europe. We would like to work with more researchers and institutions in the future because together we can support healthy aging through better food policies. Thank you for your attention. We are welcome your questions, thoughts, and ideas. And we really, thanks to Aurora Alliance, to supporting project like this, brings the researcher together, these ideas, sharing knowledges, experiences, and we are very grateful to be part of the community. Thank you.
We didn't start it. She still has a minute. So Romana, thank you so much. You could have used the minute to put education in, because I think you're wonderfully aligned with our Hub for Health and Well-being. I will skip the question to the audience because that one has been so clear. So thanks so much. And I'll be happy to hand over. Let me look at my material, and do we have the right slides up? Should the Moser, I think should be, oh, no, mistake. Moser. Does it work? Yeah. So I'm very happy to introduce you to Professor Dr. Simone Moser. She's at the Department of Pharmacy, so we already hear the hub, at the University of Innsbruck. And she's a chemist. I have great respect for them because there's always a communication difficulty between culture people and chemists. So I will simply start the timer and hand over the mic to you.
Thank you for the kind introduction. I hope there won't be any communication difficulties now. Thank you for the invitation and the possibility to present our project here. Perfect. Thank you. So our project is called Valorlight, and the team is shown here. So we have the University of Naples, Sheridan Wu. We have the University Olomouc with Lukas Spikal. We have a partner university, Kosice, with Veronika Huntoshova. We have us, the University of Innsbruck, and we have Angela Galstian from the University of Duisburg-Essen. And what you might notice on this slide is the blue arrows that connect the consortium before we met, basically, and you might notice that it's linear. So everybody in the consortium knew somebody else, but we didn't know each other, basically. So the central idea of Valorlight, the focus is on medicinal plants. And I know there's a lot of text, but the message I want to get across is that there is a deepening significance of medicinal plants, and there is a chance for sustainable development. So that's from a very new review article in Environmental Development. So cultivation of medicinal plants faces similar challenges than conventional agriculture. There's a lot of use of fertilizers and pesticides, and also here, using medicinal plants, you face the additional challenge that you need to ascertain a quality for the patient, and that can be hazardous to use these kind of substances. You also have increasing antimicrobial resistant pathogens, and especially for medicinal plants, you have a lot of plant biomass waste. So here, we are looking for organic, self-sustaining agricultural methods that enhance product quality. So here we want to use CEA, and this is how AI sees our project, so it looks very fancy. So soilless cultivation in greenhouses that mostly already use LEDs. Please keep that in mind, there's light involved to optimize the plant growth. So these are our hypotheses. So what we want to do is we want to use biostimulants, so microbes that help to protect the plants and to also increase the quality of the medicinal plant. That's one hypothesis. We have screening platforms where we can assess a large plethora of parameters about the plants. Then another hypothesis is that plant waste that is formed during the production of a phytomedicine is a source of photoantimicrobials. And this means antimicrobial substances that can be activated upon light. So here's where the light comes in. And these substances, as are indicated here, so you can activate them by light. Another hypothesis is that you can incorporate them into nanoparticles and other nanomaterials to keep them in this controlled environment and also to deliver and carry them. And also that these photoantimicrobials encapsulated in nanomaterials can then be used as innovative light-activated pesticides, also for crop production and for water purification. Okay. And I'm happy to already share the first results with you. So this is from the University of Naples, from Sherry. She already grew some plants to test them with the microorganisms, so with biostimulants. She tested different strains. I just wanted to show you that she already grew 192 plants in total. And then she put them into the screening phenotyping facility. So that's a platform where you can assess. You basically make a picture of the plants from all sides and you can read out several parameters from that. And this is how it looks like. So we have mint plants, it's our model plants, so spearmint. And these are actually plants from the project already. These are just representative results that should show you that we see significant effects. So it looks very promising. She already did an in-depth statistical analysis. So this is a PCA analysis. What it should show you is we have something to work with. There are effects that we see. If we then come to Olomouc, they also have a facility where they can test whether these biostimulants have an effect to protect the plants against pathogens. So they have a system using Pseudomonas as a strain, and they also assess, let's say, the health of the plants by certain parameters. And here you can see our mint cutlings already happily growing in Olomouc. The plants are on the way to Innsbruck, or have already arrived, where we will test the pharmaceutical quality on one hand. So we will check whether all these growing conditions would meet the standards of the European Pharmacopoeia, or if they even improve them. And on the other hand, we will extract the biomass waste that is formed during this process in order to find photoactivatable compounds. This is an example for such a compounds. This is how they look like. This one is from St. John's Wort. They can then incorporate it into nanoparticles, and for what this is classically used is therapy in cancer, so photodynamic therapy. You can see here how these particles accumulate inside of cancer cells, and then if you don't shine light on them, you can destroy the cells. And you can do the same for microbes, so for plant pathogens. The idea is to load these nanoparticles or so-called metal organic frameworks with these light-activatable compounds, and with that can destroy bacteria, for example. Another vision is to use these photoactivatable compounds on nanomaterials for water purification. So these are the classical water purification methods. And here in our project, the aim is to use immobilized photosensitizers, so these activatable compounds, so that you can shine light on them on nanomaterials and use that for water purification. So this is the roadmap where we are. Olomouc and Naples are in very direct exchange for the biostimulants and the plant pathogens. The plants, the first mint plants have arrived in Innsbruck, so the treated plants, where we're going to extract them and analyze them. We have already sent some photoactive compounds to Košice, and then Duisburg-Essen comes in at a later time. And all the blue arrows here should indicate that we've already met in person. End of March in Innsbruck, so we had time to have a get-together in the mountains. Then we basically locked ourselves into a seminar room the whole day and had really fruitful discussions. And what we also had is that in front of the students of the seminar, of our department, you cannot see this here, they're all hiding in the back. We're discussing our research of the research groups that are part of this consortium now. So As I said, it was very successful. We have identified a challenge, the Pathfinder Challenge 2025 for biotech for climate resilient crops and plant-based biomanufacturing that falls into these SDGs that we want to apply to. So our meeting was on a very rainy day in Innsbruck, so not much light activation, but was not needed. We found out we are a very nice consortium. We work very well together. And we want to thank you all for this opportunity to do this research and to form this consortium. Thank you for your attention.
So that's another cool project. Very amazing. Let me look at the phone is ringing now. So perfect timing. I'm so impressed. I don't even need the timer. Just now I need my notes. We're now traveling to the very north. And I'm very happy to introduce Professor Bing Wu from the University of Iceland to you. She is actually at the School of Engineering and Natural Sciences, the Faculty of Civil and Environmental Engineering. And I can't recall the title for it has such a nice acronym, but now the acronym isn't there. It's not MIMIC, right? Yeah. It is MIMIC. Show name. Right, so it's MIMIC, and I thought it was all about culture, but it isn't. So that's part of what language does to us. It tricks us. Bing,
Thank you.
And I'll also set the timer.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure here to present our collaboration project funded by Aurora Research Fund. The project involves 4 universities. So here I will, on behalf of the project teams, to give this presentation. The project focusing on the microfibers behaviors in the wastewater treatment process. As we know, currently 80% of the wastewater globally haven't experienced sufficient treatment. This insufficient treatment wastewater majorly located in some regions. They have either based on their economic situation or geographic situation, because the traditional wastewater treatment process suffer challenging. On the other hand, emerging pollutants in the aqua environments raise a great concern because they cause human and nature health effect. While wastewater is a major pathway have been identified to cause these emerging pollutants released to the aquatic environments. That's why we need to identify suitable wastewater treatment process to conquer this challenge. Towards achieve the UN Sustainable Goals, they highlight we need to improve the treated water quality, meanwhile reduce such emerging pollutants to the environments. Towards this challenging membrane-based technology offer a solution. As we know, in the wastewater treatment domain, microfiltration and ultrafiltration membrane have been widely used. In these membranes, the small membrane pores allow the treated water passing through, but reject most of the pollutants, for example, solids, microorganisms, and even greater sized molecules. Based on that, we developed a low-cost wastewater treatment process we call gravity-driven membrane filtration process. In this process, the water head offers a nature driving force to moving the water through the membrane. Meanwhile, the rejected microorganisms offer their advantage to develop a mini ecosystem. In this biofilm matrix, the prokaryote microorganism could utilize organics and inorganics to remove them from wastewater. Meanwhile, eukaryote microorganism will predate the prokaryote microorganism and moving inside of biofilm matrix. This will allow a porous nature of biofilm formed on the membrane, so they could not offer great resistance for the water pass through. This system has been widely used nowadays. They are already used in the surface water treatment, rainwater recycling, seawater pretreatment, meanwhile wastewater treatment process. This process could very simple in design and maintenance, low cost, less footprint. Meanwhile, they suitable to the variable conditions, for example, the cold climate scenario. Also, the superior treated water quality can be achieved. The rejected organics and nutrients later can be collected and further treated to recover energy and nutrients materials. So in this collaboration project, we are interested to further look at the microplastic and micropollutants mitigation in this membrane process, which has not been well studied. So we target to solve three questions. First, we would like to see how the microfibers, one of the dominant microplastic configuration in the membrane process, how that effect on the membrane performance and the microbial community composition. Also, we are interested to see how the micropollutant mitigation by biodegradation and the microplastic adsorption. Although the membrane performs major roles to remove the microplastic, however, due to the configuration of microfiber, they may still can penetrate through the pores of membranes. So we are interested to see how the transport behavior of these microplastic fibers through the membrane. Then if that happened, what we should do to solve this challenge. So our research team consists of 5 researchers from 4 universities. Professor Stephen and I actually met a few years ago in a conference. So we initiate this project first. Then we just wrote the email to other 3 researchers, Sandra, Maya, and Siko. Luckily, they gave us a very positive response. Then we set up the team. We just got this grant last year, so we haven't delivered any research yet. But we already plan to do several things. First, we already plan to organize a workshop in this coming September 1st at the University of Iceland. So we will talking about identification of and the mitigation of environmental microplastic and micropollutants. If you are interested, welcome to Iceland to join us. Also, in this project, we try to explore more deep understanding on the micropollutants, microplastic, microorganisms, their relationship in the wastewater treatment process. Based on this research activity, we would like to further develop EU research proposals then to enhance Aurora University collaboration. So that's my presentation. Thank you very much.
Wow, you all earned us some time. Thank you so much. Can I start to ask and invite questions? Or otherwise, I cajole people into asking questions? So there's a round of feedback. There's a question. So we have a couple of minutes for direct responses to the 3 presentations, and we'll then go into a panel debate that is actually also run by you, because you get to decide how to move forward and how to also pull these projects into the hubs.
Thank you. Yes, I have a question for the previous project, possible. I'm curious about what kind of specific plants are used for the research.
Oh, with your own. But I think you have the mic, right? Yeah.
What kind of plants are used? That was the question. So at the moment we are using Mentha spicata, so spearmint, as model plant, and as agricultural model plant we are using Arabidopsis, And then as a model crop plant, we will use Solanum, so the tomato plant.
So these kind of plants are reflecting those criteria for research.
Yes, they are. So there are already studies that you can grow them in these controlled environmental sort of agriculture in hydroponic, so without any soil. And there are reports about light activatable compounds in them. So that's why we chose them.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
I just would like to thank you, and also a big thank you to Simone, because something that hasn't been mentioned is there's a big debate about reproducibility of scientific data from one lab to the next lab. And there are big debates whether science or scientific articles are actually really reproducible. And what you are doing here is exactly also addressing this issue, because you collect data and you compare data from several points of action or points of locations and compare them, and you immediately address this really critical point that makes a problem for science or natural sciences in the moment. So congratulations and thank you, and please go ahead.
Thank you so much.
Bruno.
I have hi. I'm Mads Martin from UPEC, and I'm a researcher. I have a question about the last presentation on wastewater, because I think it relates very much to laboratory activity per se, because some of us are working with chemicals, are working with biological waste, and there's a whole discussion around using certain types of containers and others, and how to wash them, and etc. And I feel like your research would be very much a connection, a good connection to do with the questions that are arising right now about how to make research, and especially in the experimental lab, more ecological and more green and less wasteful, and less impactful to the environment.
Okay, no, it's just partially a comment, partially a question. First of all, congratulations to all of you. It's a question for all of you. Of course, all the three projects, I think that well fit into the health and well-being domain. As a member of health and well-being, I was wondering if you are thinking also for a teaching experience raising from these experimental activities. Because the first two projects were already related also with teaching. I was just wondering if you are planning in the future, because of course, health will be your house.
So the question was if like we are planning to teach about the project, or like the yes. Yeah, actually, yes, the networking, of course, because I actually teach the human physiology. So there is a chapter about the older adults, and it's really common, the nutrition of older adults. But actually our project is not only about micronutrition or yes, about the nutrition. It's about the socializing too. So that would be great to add it as for the students. It's not only focusing what do you eat, but with who do you eat? If you have, if you can afford the good qualities of the food. So yes, it would be great to add it for the students. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, I have one question. So my partner works for these nanoparticles. In his dissertation,
the type of material that have been used for nanoparticles and whether or not, so I'm just to know whether or not it's locally hyper-resistant. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So we haven't used the nanoparticles yet, but the slide I showed was from a previous study from Veronika Huntoshova, and she used mesoporous silica particles. So it's silicium-based or silicon-based, and yes, the hyperresin was loaded inside the nanoparticles. You're welcome.
Now it's worked. One question to the audience. With the Valor Light, do you put it into the health? So now you only have one vote. Do you put it into the hub for health and well-being? So the medicinal plants, do you put them into the hub for health and well-being? Yes. And do you put them into the hub for sustainability and climate change? There's also some who go like, right? So there it's a, the outcome and the application is very clear that this is geared towards health and that it's a medical field, pharmacy is involved. But then if you think of the cleaning the water as well, so the other applications that are thinkable, there's a direct segue into the other hub. And I think that's one thing that we have experienced across the construction of something that we first called pilot domains and now call hubs, and the transformation from the pilot to the hub is that systematically we have researchers, we have students, we have educators, we have administrators to make sure that what we do really ends in our structures and is recognizable and accredited. And we have external stakeholders in order to make sure that the questions we raise and the answers we find have resonances in society and in professional fields. So that's what the hubs are really seeking to do. And we're now entering into our final 10 minutes, and I heard from Martin, Martin, that we actually lost the 10 minutes he had given us at the beginning. So we started 10 minutes late, but I think we still should be trying to close at 10:35 because we don't steal your 10:34, 10:33, because we don't want to take you away from the coffee. So this is life, right? This is Aurora. And well, I mean, with reporting this time around, it was like a month early. And I thought like, ooh, no vacation. So I think here's the work package leader speaking, right? Which also means my wonderful task is now to invite these super interesting research projects into thinking education, into thinking how does it actually, so how do you manage that the next generation will pick up your research, that they actually buy your ideas, not in an economic sense, but in terms of owning the ideas, not in a property sense, but in terms of really thinking the ideas, changing their ways, participating in the question of earning life to age, age to life. So this interesting idea that you don't live, you might be wanting to live longer, but really you want to add life to these years. You want to improve the quality. And what we've seen with the 5 projects is 2 projects that come very much from campus, from the campuses. So I think the intervention by the president from Innsbruck is very much one that also works for those 2 projects. If you settle your project in a manner that it connects to the ecosystem of each campus, then there's an immediate checks and balances as to your results. Because if one campus garden operates in the one manner, but it doesn't work that way in Iceland, then the question is also why does it work and why does it not work? I start mumbling to myself. My question to you as audience very much is, let me see, what are the conditions of success for these important projects, for these very strong thinkers? What is it that you can give to them? What is it that you want to demand from them so that it actually works for your own environment, for your own educational aspirations, for your research aspirations, for your aspirations in terms of making your university and your life in university a better one? That's too global, right? I'm in culture, it's everywhere. Language too. So what do you think that we as an institution also need to do to make this happen? And you can pick any one of them that resonated with your field. Marcus, can I?
You saw my hesitation.
Yeah, I saw you thinking. That's how I recruit speakers. I'll continue doing that.
So hi everyone, Marcus from UDE. I think, answering to Barbara's question, what we need as an audience, as Aurora University members, is curiosity and being open-minded, because actually what Barbara was just asking after the garden presentation, I just sent her an email about, do you think this would match with what our garden projects are doing? Because actually we have one in Duisburg and in Essen. And I think this is what we all have to do and what we can offer to provide our open ears and our knowledge on our university structures, to link them with existing projects and initiatives. This is what we can offer. And maybe on the project side, you do not always realize that this is happening. So I think on the project side, you might need patience and, well, because there isn't an immediate response, it doesn't mean that there won't be a response at all. So yeah, just can encourage you to go on, and we can promise to keep our ears and eyes open and connect you to yeah, ongoing projects at our universities.
Would you like to respond? I could say that we actually, Florian and I are actually working on gardens across the Atlantic. So, and that's not in Aurora, but as I heard this, I went like, oh, I can put this in Aurora. Then we have a garden in Cincinnati, a garden of refuge. So would you like to ask?
Maybe the only answer that if every other university has a garden, just let us know, because we could think about something bigger, as we said, for next call. So that would be good to include other universities. We spoke about that yesterday in the group. So don't hesitate to let us know, and we could do something together.
Yes, Sylvester here, Draai from the Vrije Universiteit. I know you do the project Emily with Ivar. I know Ivar. I also know Sophia. And I thought, oh yeah, this is the first time when I see your speech, and I thought this is a real direct connection to the hub Digital Society and Global Citizenship that I draw. I already sent you an email, and I think it would be really great to connect to the hub, because then you have a bigger network actually to expand all your things that you want to do in other universities with, well, similarly minded people, teachers, researchers, that maybe not so be aware of your particular idea. So I see a great opportunity there just to connect here. Yeah, really nice.
Any response on your side?
Well, that's wonderful. Actually, I didn't have time to mention, but there is a digital dimension to the project, because even within our university, you know, this university has 16 campuses. So we try to engage students and staff from all the campuses, but then we can't do that for several months, you know, and we can't always be in these rooms. And so we actually are also using an open source participatory European platform, which is called Decidim. And so we are also producing research on that. And this is a very important platform for many European countries and many institutions, actually, to develop participatory processes and to scale them up. So it has to do with digital citizenship. And so we would be really happy to connect with the hub.
Good morning. Thank you for your presentations. I would like to thank you for your talent and your research projects, and just have an open invitation to share this talent and think outside the box, maybe go the extra mile, and think of further methodologies to be as inclusive, as diverse and perhaps try new ways to build trust and collaboration and include as many students and stakeholders from within our communities as possible. So it's just a congratulations. Thank you.
I actually wanted to give you and Matthias a chance to also showcase the other projects that came out of the first call, those that could not be here, just to really showcase the variety and breadth of the projects that were funded. It seems like there was a slight imbalance here towards certain sciences, but yeah, so here's a chance to showcase the other ones as well.
So can you wake me up and I know all the projects? I know that Matthias does.
Yeah, okay, so we have a project which is called, thanks a lot for good suggestion. Yeah, we have a project called Ethical, and this is about migration dynamics and security policy also, and no, not security policy, but migration politics, and we have a poster on that. In the poster session, so please really look at this project. Then we have still another project which is Future Sec. It's called Future Sec. This is about security governance and also linked to migration. But also to armed conflicts and terrorism. So important and difficult topics. So this is both from University of Duisburg-Essen and University of Innsbruck, and Freie University is the coordinator. So then I should say also Ethical, who is doing that. So this is Pietro De Lellis. Maybe he's here. I don't know. Is he here? At least his poster is here. So that was for Ethical. That was University of Naples, and Pulaski University, Olomouc, and University of Innsbruck. Okay, and the last project is COCOPE. This is University of Naples, again, University Duisburg-Essen and University of Innsbruck. So this last project, COCOPE, inquires the link between a development that political parties become more and more a personal affair, in fact. And I think since the project has been accepted, this development has been even more important, and it's questions what is the impact of this development for our democracies, where we had so in Germany, where we had these popular parties which were broad and which were meant to talk to all parts of the population, and here we're losing this more and more. Okay, so I think we're really happy with these projects. We see that they go from technology driven or asking, but here in our case it's more green technologies, to a lot of humanity topics, which are how we live together in Europe. And I think this is, I'm really so happy that we can bring all these topics together. And just to say how we constructed this talk, I think it was at the beginning, we were really bottom up, and we wanted to have as less constraints, thematic constraints as possible. Just sure that you needed to have the partners, because community building is one of the important aspects. But then we realized that all your projects could contribute to the hubs, and we realized more and more how important that is for Aurora as a whole project. And in the new call, we really asked now explicitly that the project proposers indicate how they can contribute to hubs. And I think where we can even go further, that we go from pure research projects to mixed research teaching projects. I think that is the future for the next call.
Right, and I think I can, and I see Jeanette raising her hand. I can say from the humanities perspective, there's not enough humanities here. But that's the moment that you ask for collaborative work and then across nations, and you have the humanities who usually study nation rather than nations. So there's a stick to jump over for the humanities that's not very close to how these calls operate. But that's something that I think Aurora also needs to consider, how to make good use of hurdles that are in the science system, right? How certain things operate better if you have this kind of interdisciplinary that we've seen where different universities take on different tasks. And in the humanities, we sit together and we don't distribute tasks, but we test each other until the idea is fine, which is also very annoying. But it's also harder to convince people that this is necessary. Can't you just sit and write your book by yourself? But I'm happy to hand over the mic for the final question. And Martin, another 2 minutes from our coffee break.
Thank you, Barbara. First of all, thanks all of you for your work. And especially because you said for the next call, you're going to ask in which kind of hub a research project will be. I would like to also have the question, how is the knowledge then afterwards or in the middle or already during the project delivered to the students? Right? Because I see here some students maybe at the PhD level already be involved in some of your projects, and you're one, of course, a lot, right? In Simone, I heard a seminar, but how is it really this knowledge? Because here you have different kind of universities. Of course, they are coming together, but how can the students lively and see the growth of the plants, let's say, help even there, but also then see how the technology is used to extract the medicine and whatever you do with it, right? So it should really already give a plan how the students in each step for all of the partners involved and even of all students of Aurora can be involved in such an increase of knowledge and gaining of knowledge. This I would really like. Of course, as a vice rector for education, it's natural. Thanks.
So thanks a lot for this question. We're over time. So if you can say this in one sentence, the five of you, and it's a challenge, but just give one thing you have in mind, or you already did. And yeah, Romana, can you start?
Yes, what should I? Well, thank you, Aurora, for bringing us together. It was great. Yeah, no. The questions?
The question was what is the actions that you can do to bring your research to students?
What is the action?
Yeah. Have you something in mind that you could...
to involve the students to do research, I guess, right? Or I may be, yeah. You know, I will be the second one. I don't, yeah. But I think if we actually, if we involve the students, you know, making interesting the research for them, explain the research, you know, and focus what important is. That would be great, you know, if they can collaborate with us. Yeah.
Thank you. So what we're doing, we've been organizing assemblies for up to 5 years now here. So we're already incorporating students, because students participate, but they also facilitate, and we also have optional courses where we share the research with them, and the assessment is based on their own experience-based confrontation with the existing scientific literature, and including our research. And so it's already included, but only at Créteil's level right now, at UPEC. So thanks to this project, this could also take place in other universities. I know the Fry University, with their first Citizens Assembly, is also having a very strong research project. And I'm sure that they're going to involve students, but we're now trying to scale up, especially thanks to this project.
Matthias, may I make a suggestion? So I know that Martin is already shooting arrows at me, and I know that Ramon wants to ask one final question or make a comment. So I think we need to put the students right into the call, right? So I think that's what needs to happen. Those who have now been given the money will be pestered by us. So that's a guarantee I can promise. And I'm handing over to Roman.
Thank you, Barbara. I keep it very short, but I just want to thank you. I think this is really the example of the bottom-up initiatives we like to see. And addressing what's said before, I think that's also for the future, what's the positioning of hubs anyway, right? And I think also Jeanette's comment of how the integration of, because there's no separation of research and education anyway, but we have to work in this community how to facilitate this. I'm very happy all the directions you are taking, and I'm also thinking this because I'm thinking as a Secretary General more structurally, is this a place also beyond the program, right? So is this a place where the community meets, where students, staff meets, but also where we have incentives? And this is what you're working. We have to incentive or have to incentivize, and I will ask the presidents to take action to incentivize. Did you hear me? Yeah, did you hear me, Veronica? Yes, we ask the presidents to incentivize and the vice rectors to recommend strongly, Jeanette, and others to make that happen, to this very structure your community to build. And so thank you for that.
Thanks to the speakers. Thanks to the audience for staying on into the coffee break and jump for your coffee. Martin, is
Thanks
there
a lot.
anything?
Bye-bye.